Hi, hello, good evening, and good day, whatever time it is where you are. This is Strat Chat again. We are back continuing our post-eviction chats for people leaving the Big Brother Australia house. So we are super, super happy to have Luke and Zach here with us on today, discussing their experience in the Big Brother house. Certainly got a couple of questions for you guys, so don't want to waste any time. So let's just hop into this. I am Kyle Petty, and I am joined, as always, by my co-host, John Dunphy. Gina Regino could not be with us on this evening because she has some work obligations. But we are Strat Chat. You can find us on the socials at Strat Chat Pod. We are here once again, with Luke and Zach from Big Brother Australia. So what's going on? Thank you so much for spending this time with us. I know you're a lot busier than we are, and your time is a lot more precious, so thanks for being. How you guys doing?
Thanks. Yeah, I'm good. Thanks for having us. It's actually a pretty nice day here in Sydney. So I got the day off work today. So cheers for chatting. It's good.
Nice.
It's gonna be fun.
Beautiful.
Yeah, awesome. I'm going well too.
It's awesome to have you guys here because you've both been a lot of fun to watch on the season. You've really brought a lot to the game. So obviously I feel like you're both out too soon, but it's awesome to get the chance to talk to you now. So
yeah, that's cool. Well, this year's Big Brother was a quick one. Normally it goes for 3 months or so. So this one's it was quite condensed in the time. It was 4 weeks total, and it had to be over. So it was a rapid one really for sure.
For Big Brother, yeah. You only really see that with the celebrity versions and things like that. So yeah, it's accelerated season. It's certainly going to be interesting to see kind of play out, especially because people are leaving and then people are coming back in the house almost just as fast. So it's what is with these intruders? Stop it! The house is set.
I know. When when Anna Sophia left the other night, and then we just literally then bang, there was 2 incredibly good-looking people just sitting in the jacuzzi, just cruising, and we're what the hell's going on? So yeah.
Yeah, no, I love it. I mean, fun as a viewer, but definitely jarring.
Yeah.
So how familiar were the two of you with Big Brother, before you got into this experience?
Well, look, I was a fan of the show. I was funny. I was the oldest guy in the house, I believe. I was 33. But I remember watching Trevor winning, the very first Big Brother, 22 years ago. And then Big Trev. And then, actually, funny enough, I had a close girlfriend went on the one about 2 seasons ago when it was actually filmed in Manly, when it was what was that one called? But yeah, and she loved it, and then it kind of came my way, and I was just I'll always give anything a go. So yeah.
Who was that?
Katie Williams.
Oh wow! Okay, cool.
Yeah. So we're neighbors here. Yeah, so I know Katie really well. So I reached out to her when I got asked to go on or accepted. And she was like, "Do it. Just don't think. Just do it." I was like, "All right, sweet, yeah,
awesome."
Wow.
How familiar were you, Zach? Did you know this show?
Yeah. No, I've watched it growing up and all that type of stuff, like the old Friday night games and shit like that. So I was fairly familiar. It was a House of Love this year, so a bit of a dating type setup.
Right.
So it was a bit different to what it's normally been like, obviously, but. I was fairly familiar with it, but it ended up being actually a lot harder than what I thought it was going to be, to be honest. So,
I feel like that's. Oh, sorry.
No,
I was just going to say, because you brought up the theme, being House of Love. I was going to ask, another question that we had was, did the theme of the season add to your interest at all, coming in knowing that it was, this House of Love sort of season?
No. I don't know. I knew there was going to be a few hot birds and that in there, so I wasn't complaining. But, Yeah, well, no, not really. Like, I'd rather just be in there with all the boys and that, and just like talk shit, get on the piss and that. That'd be good. But it'd be, it'd be a lot. It'd be a lot funnier. Like if we could all drink piss flat out in there, like you'd get some good content, I reckon. But
Yeah.
you're limited with that.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So the first bit of questions are certainly more directed at Luke, because I feel like you definitely had a more tumultuous time in the house.
Yeah.
Yeah, things didn't really go the way they should have. And I have to say that I was extremely displeased with the outcome of you. So
Yeah.
the first question I had was that I feel like people were targeting you literally just because you wanted to play the game. Louis had made a comment like when they were doing like the house nominations, he had made some comment like that, how, oh, I don't trust Luke, he would be the person to like put you up and he just wants to get rid of you. And it's like, oh, you haven't said anything there that sounds wrong to me. Like that's the game.
Right, that's the game.
Like people have
Yeah.
I was like, what's the problem with that? So like, how did you feel
Yeah.
about those comments? Because like you really
Look, it was really in the house. Me and Louis, like, I never saw like a conflict or anything at all. Like, we were just, I didn't think there was. We never butted heads. We never had an argument. I thought we were like just both like valid housemates, and then we had a few strategic chats, and everything that he ever wanted, I kind of delivered. Like, if that makes sense. So yeah, obviously, like winning challenges. It's a great feeling for about 5 minutes, and then you got about 4 hours of absolute stress. And yeah, it comes with a big burden. But yeah, look, hearing some of those things, look, I get it's the game. Like I got super thick skin, like it's fine. But yeah, look, it is what it is. Like but like inside the house, I never thought I had a bad thing with Louis, but obviously he found me as a bit of a threat. The game's pretty impulsive. Like it's things just happen. It's pretty irrational. Like Zach would know, like, going into the house, like there was so many times where we would get like, it was like a red zone or some type of thing where we would get shut off and we had to go sit on our bed and we couldn't talk and like you couldn't like plan. And I guess like the public won't really see that, but yeah, things like that were quite difficult. And yeah, I believe I had a lot of pressure at the start of the show. Like the pressure was pretty intense to make some decisions.
it was.
Yeah.
Which kind of brings us into the next thing too, because a lot of the heat that you caught, was obviously putting up Annalise. Some of the people that you put up, as we've been doing these post-eviction chats, we've been asking everyone the same question, and we're just repurposing it every single time. I want to know what the deal is with Gracie May. I just feel like she's a little wild, and I can't wait until the chance that we get to have to actually talk with her too. Because I feel like she says to one person, "I want you to be safe," and then she gets in there and she votes for you. As far as the blowback that you got from Annalise and that whole nomination, like Gracie May was part of that, but no one's talking about her. And why is that?
You're taking all the heat for nominations that you made together.
Well, Gracie May, like when you guys meet her, she will knock your socks off. She's a ball of fun.
Oh, I'm sure she will. No, she looks like she's a ball of fun. However,
it's funny. She's self-proclaimed a little gremlin. She called herself a little gremlin, and that's what she is. She's a little gremlin. But she's so funny. But yeah, look, the Annalise thing was, I did cop a bit of the brunt of it. Look, it was a 50-50 decision, but I guess because like I did find Annalise attractive. Like she was a super attractive girl, like physically, and she had a lot of other great attributes as well. And every day was pretty short. I shot my shot, didn't go to plan. And then, unfortunately, inside the house, it comes to a time where you've got to keep people happy. And my thing was I could make one person upset and keep 12 people happy, and that was a part of my decision. But yeah, it was a pretty emotional night that night for the house. That one was sad.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Now that all this time has passed after the whole Annalise thing, like do you still regret it? Do you think that was a good decision? Like,
oh no, like I immensely regret it. It was the start of my downfall. Like, and like I said, it's actually really affected our relationship inside and outside the house. Like, I've spoken to her once I got evicted. and that's it. So I think it has
Damn.
affected our friendship, even off camera, which is not ideal for me. Yeah.
Yeah, that's too bad. That's too bad.
Yeah.
Well, I want to ask Zach a question. I got a question for you, Zach. So one of the things that I really loved watching on this season was kind of like how you, it seemed like you like kind of came out of your shell, right? Like it felt like in the beginning you were having a little bit of a hard time with it, and then by the end of it, it felt like you were like almost a totally different person. Like I remember at one point you got dressed up with Jake, and you guys were running around the house, and then obviously all the dolphin trainer stuff was so funny. Like, but I just kind of wanted to know like the experiences that you had in the house. Like do you think even outside of the house, like have those, has that experience sort of helped you come out of your shell, in your relationships outside the house as well?
Look, I've always been a pretty big personality. Like I've grown up in a small country town where everyone from since you're born. Like since kindergarten, you've been to school with someone, you played footy against someone or with them. You know everyone, so you feel comfortable. Like you can go to the pub, everyone's like there's all your mates' parents there, or all your mates, or something like that. So my whole life, I've kind of just been around people I've always felt comfortable with because I've always been around them in a way, like. And then when you get thrown into somewhere where you don't know anyone from bar of soap, you're by yourself. There's a lot of huge personalities, all that type of thing. I think anyone in the right mind would go in their shell a little bit too. It's just, but it's the same for everyone. Like people deal with it different. I'm sure there was other people in the house that are in the exact same situation, but dealt with it a bit different to what I would. But I was just trying to keep to myself a little bit. I was trying to warm up, and I'm the type of person, once I feel comfortable around one or two people, I kind of just gravitate towards them and kind of just want to hang out with them, which you can't really do in Big Brother because you kind of got to build relationships with everyone and be on everyone's good side, or else you're going to get voted out for not having a connection with someone. So I think that's where I went wrong probably for the first couple of days. I gravitated towards a few like Josh and Jake and just put all my time into them and just wanted to hang out with them, where you probably can't really get away with that in a way.
Yeah. No, definitely.
Yeah.
Well, that's perfect too, because I definitely want to know more about some of the relationships that you made in the house, because I feel like we didn't get to see as many of those. So, like, who would you say were your best male and female friends in the house?
Yeah, so Jakey boy, obviously, me and him have a real good relationship. Still keep in contact pretty regularly. A few of my mates went down to Melbourne on the weekend, actually drank piss with him, so that was good. I didn't cop an invite, so Jakey boy, obviously me and him talk a lot. And probably Tay, one of the sisters, Tay. Me and her actually keep in contact as well. She's actually a really good person, and we actually had a really good relationship in the house too, but it didn't really make it to air, I suppose, in like a way. But me and her, we actually hung out and talked a lot in the house, and still do to this day. So she actually sent me a message last night, so it's good.
Oh, awesome.
Very cool. Yeah.
Because it was like a year ago that this was actually filmed, right? Like some time ago.
Yeah.
So to still be in touch with these people, I mean, even in the slightest way, I think counts for a lot.
I think they're trying to keep us away from hanging out with each other until airing until it actually aired. So, but me and Jakey were still hanging out in that. But they were trying to keep us, under wraps until it did go on air. But when it's 13 months, you kind of lose relationships when you're not seeing each other for that long and you've only known each other for a certain amount of time,
Right.
Yeah,
right.
Absolutely. So my next question is for Luke, actually. So when you guys all got your burgers, I remember at one point, right? You had the shopping, competition, and then you got your burgers, and of course, this big pink box comes out again, the secret box. And I think, obviously, we talked about how you did pretty well in the competitions, and that forced you to unfortunately have to nominate some people and make some people angry. So I feel like your threat level was definitely rising. But the question that came out of that pink box that was asked about, who's flying under the radar, and then you being called out for that. Do you think that question specifically coming out when it did, like, made the target on your back that much bigger? Because I felt like you were a threat, but I still felt like you were safe until that moment.
Look, yeah, that's why it was funny when Taylor read that. And Taylor's great. Yeah, like she's epic. But when she said that, and I remember going, babe, I'm not flying under the radar one bit. Like, yeah, and
if I was, you just ruined it.
Yeah. Yeah. And then she goes, like, she was bang on. She goes, oh, he's not the loudest personality, but he's good at the challenges. Like, he's just, he's a good housemate, but he's not loud. And so I was just like, oh, I'm busted here. Yeah. So, yeah.
Wow.
Which is like so interesting too, because again, I feel like there's so many differences between the way that Australians play this game and the way that Americans play this game. Because to me, someone who you're saying is good at the challenges, but is also flying under the radar, seems like prime real estate to hop in and be like, hey, can we work together? Can we do something? Like, was anybody making those like propositions to you, or are they just saying you're a threat? Like, absolutely
No.
not. Like,
I actually was. So I actually went up to Taylor and I took her into the red room and I offered her protection. And I was just like, hey, look, I'd make a promise to never evict you or vote for you. Like, we're on the train together. I'm really feeling like I'm getting left outside of the circle in the boys group at the moment. So I was just, if there's anything I could do, I'd offer you protection for the remainder of the show. And we had a good chat about that. And I actually offered that to Annalise as well. Like, before I asked her on a date, I asked her actually for a partnership. I went into her attributes and you're smart and athletic and stuff. And she took it on board, but she still said no. So, and it kind of got made out like it was just a straight rejection dump. So I did, I was the oldest in the house. I've been through a lot, probably professionally and socially. So I was quite smart in that sense. And I knew what I had to do. And when I knew I couldn't develop it, it was, affecting my game. So, yeah, that's all I can really say. I was trying to offer protection for sure, but just wasn't getting it.
no good.
Yeah.
That sucks. I think that sucks.
Yeah, it's all right. I had a great time. I had a ball.
No, of course. But how dare they not receive that? Because no one else is winning anything. So I don't understand. How are you not at the forefront of some of these alliances? Because we're not really seeing a lot of that either. I'm not seeing a lot of people saying oh, I want to go to the end with you. I want to do this with you. Everyone seems very, very distracted and sidetracked by dating. And
I think that's what I mean. It was the dating aspect is huge. Normally in Big Brother from the other shows where the demographic is really mixed, if you in a relationship, you're a threat. You're probably more of a threat than winning the challenges. People come after the people in relationships, where this one's different. All the relationship people have the power, and if you're single and you're an easy target. So that's the difference in this game, which was quite interesting. So yeah.
Well, we do have something else here. Gina couldn't be with us on this evening, because she has to work this evening. But she had a very specific question for Zach. And she pre-recorded a little video that she expected us to share with you. And believe it or not, we're actually going to do it.
Yeah,
well,
here we go.
Hi, I am so sad that I have to miss this interview because I have a very, very important question for Zach. And that is, I don't know if there's maybe some kind of a cultural difference between Americans and Australians that I don't understand this, but is it a common pickup line to pretend to be a dolphin trainer in the bar to pick up women? What does the success rate for this look like? Also, follow-up question, post-eviction, have you learned any dolphin facts? Teach me things.
So what is the deal with the dolphin training? Because honestly, even Gracie May said in the diary room confession, they're oh, I just thought that guys made that up to get girls. I didn't actually know that people were dolphin trainers, which adds to the funny of the fact that you actually are not. So what is this?
So I lived in the Gold Coast for a couple of years. I only just moved back last year. And whenever we're out, you start chatting to a bird and she goes, oh, so what do you do for work? And because I'm a painter by trade. I'm not going to tell them I'm a painter because you can train a monkey and they can do that, I want something they'll be like, oh, fuck yeah, So I just told this bird one day I was a dolphin trainer and she spun out and then started asking me questions and I'm sitting down with a few of my mates and I'm just picking this, I'm just picking the most stupidest shit and saying it and she's full believing it. Anyway, the next morning we wake up and with all my mates, we're all talking shit. And I'm like, fuck, I'm going to have to get some facts up. So just done a quick bit of research. Like, I know you need to study marine biology and zoology to be a dolphin trainer, like all this type of shit. And started, like, doing stuff like that. And then every time I was out, all the boys would be like, oh, he's a dolphin trainer. And then I'd just start making up even more shit. So I made up this story that, like, my old man's been working at SeaWorld now for 20 years. Like, him and my old girl kind of separated just after I was born, and my old man's lived up there ever since. And we've kind of rekindled our relationship. And I ended up moving up there, and I was at a bit of a crossroads with work and what I wanted to do. And my old man's kind of actually got me on for a couple of days a week at SeaWorld. So started doing that, and then I ended up looking.
So since then, you actually have been to SeaWorld now.
I don't think I have.
Oh my God.
And then
Still not.
I just tell them that I'm at uni and I'm studying zoology and marine biology, fucking all this shit, and I've got a couple of years left. And it's a long story, but I just know it off the top of my head now, and I was just spitting it out.
Wow,
that was one of my favorite things.
This has been going on for years.
Like, because you actually were so good at answering all the questions that you had. So, like, were you afraid ever that you were going to get caught, like, while you were in the house?
Well, I think Big Brother looked after me there and gave me some easy facts in that buzzer quiz. I think they're pretty common knowledge. Well, I think anyway. A few of my mates were ringing me after it, going, "How the fuck do you know all that?" And I'm like, "I actually don't even know. I don't know." But yeah, and I didn't even know it was actually a thing to pick up birds. Like, apparently back in the day, like, I was talking to my old man, he said back in the day people used to say they were dolphin trainers to pick up birds. Like, it was actually like a thing. But I didn't even know that. I just said it because I was living on the Gold Coast and SeaWorld's in the Goldie, and it was kind of funny. And then one of my mates started telling birds he was a what are they called, a skydiving instructor. I'm like, mate, you're gonna ruin it. So now there's this bird talking to a skydiving instructor and a dolphin trainer. But yeah, kind of, I changed my Facebook and to say I was working at SeaWorld as a dolphin trainer, and like got like 500 like everyone was getting around it, and kind of moved back to Colac, and everyone was asking questions and taking the piss out of it. So every time I was going out, I just kept on running with it like it's a laugh. And then I went into the house, and Big Brother told me to run along with the story, so kind of just went with that. And
okay, I guess today I'm a dolphin trainer.
Yeah,
that's great.
That is fantastic.
That's so funny.
You're another person that I feel kind of got robbed in this Big Brother experience, because we went into this eviction not knowing that it was going to be a double. And it was Luke's sole vote that got you sent out. And I'm so happy he's with us today. Like, that works out so perfect. So do you feel a little cheated that your Big Brother experience basically came to an end just based on one vote?
Well, obviously with one vote, like, it's, not ideal, but at the end of the day, man, like, I actually couldn't give a fuck, to be honest. Like, sorry, am I allowed to swear? Am I allowed to swear?
Yeah, go for it. Yeah, we do a lot worse on here.
Perfect. Yeah, no, I couldn't give a fuck, man. Like, as I said, I actually didn't apply for the show. They actually asked me to go on, like, pretty late notice. So
they came to you.
It kind of, what's that?
They came to you. Yeah,
they did. So at the end of the day, man, like, I'm just grateful that I got to go in there and, just another story for the grandkids and that. So, but yeah, I was starving too. I reckon I ate a carrot in 2 days, so I was pretty keen to get some Maccas. So, it's as long as I didn't go out first, because I would have absolutely copped it from the boys. But it's just a game, man, and I don't take life too serious. I don't take much too serious at all, to be honest. So,
that's a good attitude.
Definitely. I seriously, I don't mind. I got me a little bit of 5 minutes of fame there with the dolphin training thing, and I had a laugh with my mates for a few beers, so that's all I could ask for. And yeah, kind of a bit over, like, just kind of wanted it over and done with, to be honest. I was kind of stressing out before every episode about what I said or anything like that, because it happened so long ago, I can't remember. So it's good to just have that elephant off my chest, I feel like a big weight off my shoulders, because now I can just go to work, go home, do my own thing instead of going to work and being like, fuck, did I say this episode? I'll say that, So yeah, at the end of the day, man, I'm happy as day. So it is what it is.
Yeah.
Do the two of you think that maybe that eviction would have gone differently if we had known ahead of time that it was a double? Do we think that maybe Bella would have seen some troubles?
Oh, look, that
you
eviction,
go.
I think it was pretty clear cut that I was going. So yeah, it was just kind of sucked that it was a double. That's why, like, I remember, like I was saying, like, nah, everyone vote for me. I'm ready to go. I'd rather keep these two in there. And then Sonia Krugs did what she did, and BB threw in the double. So I was pretty happy to go and keep Zach and Bella in. But then unfortunately, you got to vote. Yeah. So yeah, it's a bit tough.
Yeah. Oh. Well.
Yeah.
Well, Luke, on your way out, you had mentioned that voting out Annalise was one of the worst mistake you really made in the game.
Yeah.
But why?
So, well, I kind of like, once I should have sort of not focused so much on like, I kind of, I guess like after it all, I kind of wish I didn't do that. And maybe at that time gone after more people in existing relationships, if that makes sense. Like maybe I really, in that situation, I kind of wish I put Louis and Monet and Josh up, and kind of gone back to strength in singles. Like I wish I had made the tough decision of having a pre-existing relationship in those chairs. So, and then could have kept Annalise in there, because those house nominations where you can just vote for anyone, that's tough. Like I can hold my own in the challenges, but when you have those house noms, it's just like it's willy nilly. You can pick anyone. So that's when I was like that's when I knew it was a mistake. I knew even though me and Annalise probably didn't have a date or there wasn't anything intimate, we still were friends, and I kind of wish I held that friendship bond in there, and we would have had each other's back for a long way. But yeah, that's why it was a mistake. Yeah.
All right. That's fair.
Yeah.
So what's next for the two of you? Are you interested in doing any more reality TV after this? Are we done? What's happening?
With me, so pretty much, because the show was filmed so long ago, I joined the military, so I've joined the Navy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I joined the Navy last February. I'm going into like the underwater diving team, like a clearance diver.
Oh, very cool. Very
which
cool.
is So, and hopefully come over and work with you guys over there, because we've got such a good alliance. So yeah, I joined the military. I've been flat out for the past like 6 months doing my recruitment training. I've actually got to move to Melbourne next April to Mornington, and then I come back to Sydney and then like reality TV was great. I'd love to. I'd do it again for sure, but I'd love to give SAS a go. Like Ant Middleton, the host down here, I'd love to give him a run for his money. Do something that's more just like physical, and so I'd happily give Survivor or SAS a go, but other than that, just head down in the military and keep training.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, we love Survivor in this house.
Especially Australian Survivor. So good.
So much better than ours.
The last one was the Heroes and Villains was really good. Like I loved watching that, and that I was just like, get me in there. I'd love to do that one for sure. Like where I live in Sydney, like I'm pretty coastal town, but close to like 40 minutes from the city, but we're always up and down the coast surfing, going to pretty remote areas and camping and, living off the land. So it kind of suits me pretty well.
Wow. Nice.
Yeah.
And you, Zach?
Zach,
else for you?
Any chance we'll see you again?
I don't know. I'm not going to go out. I'm not going to go out and look for it. No, but fuck, I don't know, man. Like it was stressful for 13 months because I didn't know what was going to get aired and how I was going to be perceived or anything like that. So that was pretty stressful. So I don't know whether I'll be able to go through that again. But look, I'm just happy doing my own thing, man. Like try and keep it under wraps a little bit. I still want to go out and drink piss and carry on too. So I don't want to be too much in the public eye with anything. And I'm only 23 as well, so I'm only a young fella. But I don't know. If something pops up and it's something I like, maybe. But I don't know. I'll have to have a think about it.
Any interest in Big Brother again? Or are we both done? We want to move on now.
Oh, look,
Who knows?
I'd give Big Brother a go again for sure, but I'd love it to be like kind of the old school where the demographic is all over. You know, you got like people in their 50s, 40s, 30s, 20s, and I'd give it a go again for sure. Like knowing what you know now with like the way it's structured, the TV, the interviews, the sort of red zones and stuff. Yeah, I'd do it again for sure. Yeah.
Nice. Okay,
Yeah.
that's good.
Yeah, I'm probably the same. I'd probably give it a crack too, but I wouldn't like the dating aspect of things. Like as Luke just said, maybe the old school way. Like I'd definitely have a crack. But
Yeah.
the dating side of things, I'm not real keen on, especially on TV. You know, like. Like when I'm trying to razz up a bird and that, like I want it to be private. I don't want the whole world to see it.
Right. I'm kicking my game. It's just between the two of us.
Yeah.
Nobody else is invited to all this.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah. That's super fair. All right. John, do you have any other questions for our two friends here?
I don't think so. There were a couple other things I was thinking of, but as we've been talking, we kind of got to those areas. So I just want to say thank you so much, guys. It was so much fun to watch you on the show. It's been a real thrill to actually get to talk to you now, and hopefully we'll see you again in the future on something else. That would be awesome. We loved both of you guys on the show. So
yeah, no, cheers for having us. We still haven't got our socials back. So when I get our socials, we'll give you guys a follow and stay in touch.
Right, absolutely.
Awesome.
That's what I was going to say. When you do get your socials back, how can our watchers and listeners find you? Where can they do that?
Oh, mine's just my name, so it's Instagram at Luke Hallinan, and come see what I do.
Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, mine's just _ Zach Davis _ I think so.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
We love underscores.
You'll probably get inundated with videos of me on the piss or something like that, or photos. So good luck.
Yeah.
That's exactly the kind of content that people are looking for. So
Yeah,
absolutely.
absolutely.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
All right,
Sweet.
awesome. Thank you both for hanging out with us. Anyone else who wants to follow the rest of our post-eviction chats, you can do so at Strat Chat Pod, wherever you receive your podcasts. YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all over the place. Give us a follow, share with a friend. And thanks for hanging. We're out of here.
No, thanks for the chat.